it's good and cheap. It's not my favorite stuff, but look, when I told you the price of my paper, when I buy this, the last shipment was $3 a pound. That's so cheap. The paper is $20 a sheet. So because so much of the cleaning has already been done for me. So much of my work was all the other flax and hemp, French hemp, Russian hemp, Hungarian hemp. I've experimented with domestic hemp. I think that's about all the hemps and other different flaxes. They all require a lot of work to clean them and to be clean enough to make paper that's not dark gray. Because if you don't clean it, the paper just comes out dark gray or just dirty. So I was trying to make fairly clean paper, and it took the English 100 years, almost 100 years to make white paper, and when they did it, they wrote poems about it. So after going through what I went through, I can understand why they may write a poem about somebody in England finally made white paper. It took them like 92 years or something from the first English paper making to the first white paper. So this book is largely paper made in the 90s, made out of different hemp and flax papers. It's kind of my experimentation in hemp and flax fiber paper making. This is probably fire hose. You got some hemps in here, but a lot of it's combination flax and hemp. So this looks like the hemps. So trouble is, each one of those papers now, after it's processed a lot of hours, it's worth a lot of money, so only rich people can afford them. So that's the irony of it. But I guess you make your own. This is one of the most authentic medieval papers made, you know, as close to the old way as possible. So there's a lot of work that's gone into that, and it's not perfect at all. Someday it may be more code perfect, but it's good paper, I think. And it's sized with gelatin, hand burnished, many hours. So the value of it, the easy stuff, the Chinese hemp, I value at $20 a sheet. So big. And then the fire hose and the Russian hemp and the hemps that take a lot of time because of so much washing and natural bleaching, those are worth $40 a sheet. So it makes it prohibitive. And these are clasps I'm working on now to go on this book. Made from some sort of bronze kick plate or something like that from the recyclers. And I'll make my own rivets for these out of the same sheet. And they'll be in here somewhere. So I'm having a fit right now, which doesn't mean I'm in a bad mood. It just means I'm trying to fit these two things together. So the hinge, so see how this hinge goes together? It's got a temporary little pin through it, but then all the knuckles fit together. So this one's functioning. And right now I just bent these hinge parts, and I'll be having a fit, just doing a little filing to make these fit together and hinge nicely. They're fairly close. Okay, this is more finished. Same kind of paper. It's made with a water-powered stamp mill, flax and hemp. It's just a smaller version of this with the tapered splines. Traditional alum tod deerskin, you know, from a medieval, the true alum tod, the old way, done by a friend of mine. And these are the bronze clasp, and same kind of style. And everything's inlaid, and I made my own rivets, and I made the own hinge pins from the same exact sheet. And let's see, the price used to be $5,000, now it's $7,000, maybe more. Because now they're worth more. So yeah, it's just a blank book, but it's just my experiments in hemp and flax paper in the 90s, and celebrated my 40th year of making books, and let's say 38th year of making Gothic books with wooden covers and clasps. Okay, this, I would call this traditional Chinese hemp. This is made by the Hmong people in the hills of southern China, made the old way where you steam off the fiber and take it off in strips, and they do a certain amount of cleaning and weave it together on a primitive loom. And it would be more like this when they start. And this is traditional hemp. And this tradition goes back thousands of years. Bought this from a Hmong woman who married an American Vietnam vet, and they go back and get materials. Unfortunately, it's getting harder to find. And 95% of it was painted with thick day glow color, so you couldn't even see the weave anymore. So I got one of the few natural pieces that hadn't been painted up into day glow colors for the tourists. So I was happy to get that. It's a link to the past. But see, this is under processed, and this represents hours and hours of work, but I would trust this more. If I was going to make a rope, I'd rather make it out of this than I would this, I think. Make it and try it out and see which one's better. You know, that's how you learn. But this is more like, this is historic hemp here. And this can be, it's fairly crude, but you can make this really fine, and depends on how you process it. There's a lot of ways to go about it.